what is up guys, welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. We're going to be talking about Swiss Watch Exports. September results were released. I'm a little behind on these, so you're probably going to get these September results, and then I think on the 19th is when October results come out. So a little behind here, but we're going to be talking about the September results. And again, wasn't a great month year over year, all things considered. Swiss Watch Export did decline, so I'll go over some of the normal things, tell you how much volume they did, look at the 12-month moving average, look at the different price ranges as well as main markets. But before we do that, let me just quickly recap the prior month, so August results. So in August, we saw a decline of about 12% year over year. Obviously, 2019 was a relatively good year for Swiss Watch Exports if you compare it to this year. Down 12%, and the 12-month moving average was almost hit that negative 20% mark. So really didn't have August wasn't a great month, especially when people are purchasing more things across the board, whether it was different price ranges or materials. Exports fell. There really wasn't anything that was optimistic. There was an interesting thing where it looked like the over 3,000 Swiss franc watches, the amount of units that were sold in the month of August were just about at zero, which I thought was kind of interesting, but units and value both fell for the month of August. We saw similar trends that we've seen basically within Swiss Watch Exports over the last 10-15 years, and we really saw the Asian economies who have actually recovered from the pandemic, their I guess the exports to those countries actually did increase year over year. China obviously leading the way with actually plus 45% difference there. So back in August, we predicted the results for September. We predicted that there was going to be about a negative 10% results for Swiss Watch Exports for the month of September, and we were off by about 2%. So Swiss Watch Exports fell by 12% year over year compared to September of 2019. Exports totaled 1.6 billion Swiss francs, which it's a fairly significant amount that that was exported. However, that's a significant drop year over year if you think about 12% difference there. If you look at the last 9 months of the year, the total decline for that year was actually negative 28%, which is fairly significant when you think about it. A negative 30% drop in anything is a big portion of your business that you're losing, and the fact that that's happened to Swiss Watch Exports it's not great for the industry. If we look at the 12-month moving average, we are right about that negative 20% mark, which I think is you saw that really steep decline in February and March, and then up until kind of May, we saw it's kind of plateauing a little bit. The decline still does continue, and with a possibility of a second wave with COVID-19, doesn't really bode well for Swiss Watch Exports. I know economies like a bunch of them in Europe are thinking about going into another lockdown, and so that doesn't really help if people are not out and about and buying watches. Doesn't really help the retailers who are going to be selling these. Moving on to the watches by material across the board. Didn't matter what metal, there were declines. The most significant decline was the other materials category, and that was negative 35%, which is fairly significant. The one that didn't decline by as much, or the least amount, was actually precious metals. I think gold has really seen an uptick in its share price, and that probably has something to do with watches as well. If we look at the price categories now, again, fairly negative results. It's weird that there's always just one outlier in these. And if you look, so obviously the sub 200 Swiss franc and then 200 to 500 Swiss francs saw declines across the board in units and value. But then this 500 to 3,000 Swiss franc was almost even. So it fell by 3% in units and actually increased by 2.7%. This is a modest, you know, sign that maybe there is some sort of recovery. I think the last time this happened within like price segments where we saw value and units increase was back in January. So the fact that at least this 500 to 3,000 Swiss franc price category saw some sort of increase might show sign. This might be showing signs that there could be some sort of recovery on its way. And then the 3,000 Swiss franc and above saw declines, but not as bad as the 200 to 500 Swiss franc, or I guess euro to 500 Swiss franc price categories. Overall, units fell by 25% and value fell by 11%. Going to the main markets, you know, your top 6 main markets, you've got China that led the way. This was again a really strong month for the Chinese exports to China of Swiss watches. The change was actually a positive 78%. This made up 18% of all exports that were sent to all the markets. This is a big chunk of growth. I think this shows actually the resilience of the Chinese economy, or the Chinese interest in these. Because if you look down the list, you've got the US in second, Hong Kong in third, United Kingdom in fourth, Japan in fifth, and then Singapore in sixth. And across the board, they are negative, and they don't make up more than 15% of the share. So you can see the US fell by 13%, Hong Kong by 16%, UK by 10%, Japan fell by 26%, Singapore fell by 24%. These are crazy results. Now, to grow at an 80% clip year over year, or I guess year over year for that specific month, the fact that they're growing at an 80, they grew their I guess imports, Swiss watch exports to China grew by 80%. That's significant, and that's not just you know, that's not just you know, normal growth of an economy, if you want to call it that. That's like significant interest. I think this could be speculative, maybe. I think this might be where perhaps some Chinese retailers are saying, yeah, we have an opportunity to buy some watches maybe at a discount, and this can really help us out. Who knows? But that's a significant result for sure. If you look through the top 30 export places, you still do see some areas of green when it comes to the 2019-2020 variation. So I mentioned China growing at 78%. The Netherlands grew at 23%. They're down in 12th. Kuwait grew at 49%. They're down in 18th. Ireland saw a plus an over 1,000 Swiss franc, or 1,000% increase. They actually had 11.7 million Swiss francs imported into that country. Oman with 103%, and then Bahrain with about 35% increase. If you look at these markets, you can see that the variation between the two is about a 12% difference. So still not great results, but interesting data points to consider. And then the last thing that I'll do is just show you guys the total value by region. So you can see, again, most regions are down. What I did find interesting is that Oceania is only negative 2.4%. Maybe they didn't really purchase a lot, or that region didn't really purchase a lot of watches in 2019. So the impact of COVID probably didn't have that big of an impact. I think Asia is recovering quite nicely. You know, negative 6.2%. There are some countries that are probably more affected, but they have some good results coming out of that country. And then America, Europe, Africa, all around that 20% mark. So not great results, and I think that's just how it's gonna continue. Looking at the month of October, I think we've seen a slow recovery happening, and I think as unemployment rates continue to fall and people have a little bit more disposable income, I think there's going to still be an opportunity for people to buy watches. Do I think it's going to be a backup at the 2019 levels? Absolutely not. I think I'm going to make the similar prediction. I'm going to predict around a negative 10% decrease in Swiss watch watch exports for the month of October compared to October 2019. I think this is I think without some sort of major breakthrough when it comes to a treatment or a vaccine, I don't think we're going to see the economy recover, or global economies recover any quicker. And so I think negative 10% is a fairly good number. But we will see, and I'll be covering that very, very shortly because I am a little bit behind on these videos. So I hope you guys found this helpful, where I went over the Swiss watch export results. Be sure to check out the blog where you can see some more of our thoughts. Link is in the description. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like these types of videos, or you like videos about watches, we'd love to have you part of the Life on the Wrist family. If there is something you'd like me to discuss in a future video, be sure to put it in the comment section below. Also, do not forget to smash that like button for us. It really does help us out, and it helps out this video get into the YouTube algorithm. And with this said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.